Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day, yet we find ourselves diving into the darkest, most intricate psychological game we have ever witnessed in this town. Most people look at the current board and think the good guys are finally closing in on the villain. They see the traps being set and assume the predator is about to be caught. If you ask me, that is a fatal misconception. We are not watching a predator being cornered. We are watching a master class in manipulation where the prey is willingly walking into a cage they built themselves. Let us dive deep into the terrifying reality of what Heather is actually doing and why every single person hunting her is in grave danger. The absolute shock on Andre when he realized who he was dealing with is something we need to deeply unpack. Heather is actually the estranged sister of Joey, but she deliberately showed up in town parading a completely fake surname. That calculated choice to hide her true identity caught Andre completely off guard. It was a brilliant, chilling, tactical move. By masking her true bloodline, she instantly threw everyone off balance. You have to understand the psychological weight of this. When someone from your past suddenly reappears but operates under a different identity, it signals that they are no longer the person you once knew. They have evolved into something entirely different, something obscured in shadows. Andre thought he was looking at a ghost from his European days. Instead, he was looking at a highly evolved threat who had already mapped out his entire life. Joey, however, is not so easily fooled by a simple name change. He knows his sister intimately. He knows the darkness that runs in their family, and he is deeply suspicious of her sudden desire for a heartwarming family reconciliation. Heather has never been the type to seek out warm, fuzzy family reunions without an ulterior motive. Joey hears the dark whispers circulating in the underground. He knows the terrifying rumors connecting her to the criminal mastermind known only as the leader of the Plasma Ring. Because of this, Joey is operating on pure, primal, protective instinct. He laid down a very clear, very dangerous ultimatum. He warned Heather that if she even thinks about hurting Vanessa, he will handle her himself. It is a bold threat, but is it a smart one? To enforce this threat, Joey made a tactical play that might just be his biggest mistake yet. He ordered Randy to shadow Heather, coordinating with security forces to track her every move. Randy thought he was being incredibly stealthy and professional. He found her name on a flight manifest. He tailed her through the winding streets. He watched her sip drinks at a local cafe and followed her into the dark aisles of a movie theater. On paper, it looks like Randy is doing stellar reconnaissance work. He is gathering data, tracking her routine, mapping her habits. But if you look closer, the reality is far more sinister. Joey is slowly waking up to a terrifying possibility. What if Heather knows exactly where Randy is at all times? Let me give you a specific example to put this dynamic into perspective. Imagine playing a high-stakes game of chess against a renowned grandmaster. You think you are incredibly clever because you just captured their knight. You are celebrating your minor victory, completely unaware that the Grandmaster sacrificed that knight specifically to lure your queen into a fatal trap. That is exactly what Heather is doing to Randy. She is intentionally leading him to the most harmless, mundane locations imaginable. A cafe, a movie theater. She is feeding him a false narrative of innocence. This completely flips the dynamic of power. Randy firmly believes he is the hunter stalking his prey. In reality, Heather is the one holding the leash, controlling exactly what Joey and Randy see, hear, and believe. The most terrifying aspect of this surveillance game is the massive blind spot Randy is operating with. He suspects Heather might have some vague connection to the criminal underworld. He thinks she might know the boss, but he has absolutely no idea that she actually is the boss. She is the mastermind. She is the apex predator they have all been terrified of. This is the ultimate secret that makes every single move she makes profoundly dangerous. When you underestimate your enemy to this degree, you make fatal miscalculations. Randy thinks he is tailing a mid-level associate. He is actually tailing the devil herself. And the longer she keeps this secret hidden, the more time she has to prepare her final devastating strike against all of them. Now, let us pivot to the other side of this chaotic board and look at Andre. We cannot ignore the deeply complicated, highly toxic history between him and Heather. Long before Danny was ever in the picture, back in the murky days of his European past, Andre and Heather shared a deeply intimate romantic relationship. This is not just some old business partner coming back for revenge. This is someone who knows his physical tells, his emotional vulnerabilities, and his deepest insecurities. When Heather resurfaced, she did not just threaten him with violence or blackmail. She weaponized their past. She brought up their old intimacy. She even crossed the line and forcefully kissed him. That kiss was not an act of lingering affection or lost love. It was an act of absolute psychological dominance. It was Heather proving to Andre that she can invade his personal space, cross his boundaries, and touch him whenever she wants, and he is entirely powerless to stop it. If you ask me, that is why Andre is not just annoyed or frustrated, he is genuinely terrified to his core. We have all had moments where we felt a loss of control, but Andre is experiencing a total systematic dismantling of his safe reality. He is a man desperately trying to hold on to his fragile marriage with Danny, and Heather is a walking tornado threatening to rip his entire life down to the foundation. To understand the sheer panic Andre is feeling, consider this concrete example. Imagine you are walking down the street and you accidentally pick up a briefcase only to open it and realize it contains highly classified, incredibly dangerous radioactive material. You cannot just throw it away because someone is watching, but holding onto it is slowly killing you. That is the exact situation Andre is in with this mysterious photograph. He accidentally captured an image of something he was never supposed to see. It is a piece of evidence so damning, so explosive, that just having it on his device puts a massive target on his back. He is holding a digital bomb and the timer is ticking down fast. Andre was so desperate for a way out that he sought counsel from Marcel. Now, Marcel is a hardened former investigator. He has seen the worst of humanity and faced down ruthless criminals. But when Andre mentioned Heather, Marcel did not tell him to fight back. He did not offer a tactical strategy or backup. He gave Andre a chilling warning. Marcel revealed that Heather was the exact reason he was forced to leave the industry altogether. He looked Andre in the eye and told him to delete the photo immediately and run in the opposite direction to protect his family. When a seasoned veteran tells you that a woman is too dangerous to engage with, you listen. The fact that Heather broke a man like Marcel tells us everything we need to know about her ruthlessness. But running is no longer an option because Heather is already 10 steps ahead of him. She realized Andre knew too much, so she orchestrated a meeting on her terms. She lured him to room 1216 at the Bowman Hotel. I want you to really visualize this scene with me. Andre walks down that long, quiet, dimly lit hotel hallway. His heart is pounding against his ribs. He cautiously opens the door, hoping to catch her off guard or at least negotiate from a position of strength. But when the door swings open, Heather is already sitting there perfectly calm, waiting for him. She anticipated his arrival. She dictated the location. She controlled the environment. By simply sitting in that chair, she proved that Andre is nothing more than a puppet dancing on her strings. In that claustrophobic hotel room, she continued her psychological assault, casually bringing up their shared past while Andre frantically tried to figure out a way to escape. He is sweating, panicking, trying to find an exit strategy while she is completely in her element. And this leads us to what might be Andre's most catastrophic mistake yet. In a desperate bid to regain some semblance of control, Andre is preparing to issue a threat. He thinks that by showing his teeth, he can back her into a corner. He thinks his hidden evidence gives him leverage. But guys, threatening a predator of this caliber is like throwing a pebble at a hurricane and expecting the wind to stop. Let me break down exactly how this will play out with another specific example. Think about how a venomous snake behaves when it encounters a much larger threat. Sometimes it does not strike immediately. Sometimes it plays dead. It goes completely limp, tricking the predator into dropping its guard and feeling victorious. The moment the predator relaxes, the snake delivers a fatal lightning-fast bite. That is exactly how Heather will handle Andre's threat. She is not going to cower in fear. She is not easily intimidated. Instead, she will likely feign surrender. She will pretend that his threat worked. She will act scared, submissive, and compliant just to feed his ego. Why would she do this? Because it is the most efficient way to extract critical information. By pretending to yield, she will make Andre feel powerful. She will make him drop his guard. And while he is busy gloating about his supposed victory, she will be carefully analyzing his words to figure out exactly what he knows and, more importantly, where he is hiding that photographic evidence. Andre's threat will not scare her away. It will give her the exact blueprint she needs to destroy him. She will use his own aggression as a tool to map his vulnerabilities. It is a brilliant, terrifying strategy that proves she is always the smartest person in the room, constantly turning her enemies' weapons against them. We are witnessing a breathtaking, multi-layered game of cat and mouse, but the roles are completely reversed. Joey and Randy genuinely believe they are the ones tracking Heather. Andre genuinely believes he can protect Danny and himself by going on the offensive. But Heather is the one sitting at the center of the web, feeling every vibration, anticipating every move. She is simultaneously managing Randy's surveillance, controlling Andre's panic, and fiercely protecting her ultimate secret identity. The tension is unbearable because we know the truth. As more people inch closer to her secret, she has more reasons to strike first. So I have to ask you guys, who do you think will make the first fatal error? Will Randy get too close and pay the ultimate price? Will Andre's threat trigger a bloodbath? Or will Joey finally realize he has been outplayed by his own flesh and blood? The board is set, the pieces are moving, and the next move will change everything. Keep your eyes wide open because the real nightmare is just beginning.